What's up, future me, digital me, and also cigarette me. Ooh. Always gotta smoke when I do this because why not? Why not add another psychological thing to my cigarette habit? Why not? Fuck it. Let's do it. Okay. I'm gonna talk about something that is just awesome. Star Trek. Paramount, you suck about Star Trek. Alright? I have not watched any Star Treks after Enterprise. I don't know if I made a video about this on this channel or even on the last one. Maybe I did on the last one. But what up, phone? I looked through my videos on this channel. It didn't look like I made one on this idea, but I'm going to give you an idea on this channel because I don't think I can do it, but you know, this is the Star Trek I want to have, and this is the Star Trek that I want to see. I don't know how you make it now, but whatever. Anyway, the Star Trek I wanted to see, even after Voyager, before Enterprise came out, I wanted to see Star Trek, a new episode, a new series where Starfleet was like, Starfleet, not Freet. Starfleet was like, oh, I'm just gonna lay out my idea. Like there's an admiral. It's kind of like the beginning of Voyager. Well, we have a new ship and blah blah blah. We've got a mission for you too. We're going to the Delta Quadrant. We are going back. We are going on a new 5-year mission. Just like the original 5-year mission that James T. Kirk did. We could draw on the nostalgia. And I don't know if it'll end up being 5 years, but whatever. They can just name it the 5-year mission. Or I'm just saying 5 years because that's what we all know. But maybe the mission will be planned out to be 3 years. 3-year mission. Whatever. Scriptwriters, unleash your drones of screamer, your masses of scriptwriters for it. And it'll be like, well, we're going out there. The captain will be like, the Delta Quadrant, you realize that's over 35,000 light years away. You'll be like, yes, however, we have constructed a new type of warp drive, and blah blah. They reveal that they have like a quantum slipstream drive because Voyager brought back the quantum slipstream technology that they had, and so now the Federation, in conjunction with all the other, basically, they're they already were allies with the Klingons, and now they're kind of they're not really allies, but they're kind of loose allies with Cardassians, and they're at peace with the Romulans, and they're kind of working out treaties and stuff with the Romulans, and the Breen are kind of like, the Breen were never kind of anything. They were just kind of totally neutral, and then they saw like an opportunity to just be like, yeah, we'll take some land. So they were like, this looks like a good opportunity to get some land. So they were like, sure, whatever. I don't think the Breen ever gave a shit. And I have my own theories about who the Breen really are, by the way, underneath the helmet. I mean, whether or not in the lore they actually know what they are. But that's a totally side issue. So yeah, that story, they're going to go back and they're going to use quantum slipstream technology. I personally think they have other things available to them, but whatever. And they use quantum slipstream technology to get there, and they'll be like, well, we can get there and using the slipstream drive, and we'd be like, well, it took us this amount of time to develop it, and there were some setbacks, but we eventually made it. And because of after the Dominion War, they made peace with Cardassia and stuff, and Cardassia was being rebuilt and reconstructed again. I would say the crew, this is all me, it's my ideas, Paramount. I think, as part of the crew, you should have some Cardassians on there. There should be Cardassians on there. There should be Klingons on there. All right, because that's awesome. With new shows, with new series, you always got to throw something new in there, spice things up. Cardassians, Klingons, you should have a changeling on there. Throws things up. And I think, because basically this show is just going to wipe all the bull crap out after. Basically, this show you introduce, not in the actual dialogue of the show, but in the run up to the show, you basically just say, yeah, all that stuff from Picard and stuff, that happened in another timeline or whatever. And in that press release, you have someone go on stage or whatever and be like, this happened in another timeline, and anyone that has a problem with it, go suck eggs. Because we just don't plain give a shit. So go fuck off. We're just making another show, and everything else that doesn't go along with the show, fuck you, it's TV, go masturbate in a closet. So also, as characters in the show, they are going to have an android and another holographic doctor. And fun ensues. And as the surprise characters I'm going to have in there, see now, originally this was going to happen in between 2 and 5 years after Voyager got back. So I was going to have Cue Ball and Itchy go back on the ship, back to the Delta Quadrant. I was going to have Itchy go back, right? Icheb. But now the actor is kind of dude's 20 years older, and he was already, at that time, I think he was older than me. So it's I don't know. Maybe you can get him. Kind of see see what he's looking like, see how he's feeling about the job. If you can get him, gravy, send him back, and then have cue ball come back on there. And then you got something going. Then you got the cue ball and itchy, and yes, now you got it. Because now, oh man, that's next generation of Q getting together with Itchy, and it's just golden. All right, you're carrying on the legacy of the interaction of the Q, and it's just like that's brilliant. I love it. And the holographic doctor, you have to make sure that you cast that really well, because the holographic doctor has to be like the doctor in Voyager was. He has to be human. He has to be flawed. All right? It can't be like perfect and like super nice and everything, and it has to have some kind of flaw, or there has to be some kind of something that's there has to be an interaction between them. I don't know how you're going to work it, but there's got to be some kind of dynamic, because there's always going to be a dynamic between the Klingons and the Cardassians and the Romulans that are going to be on there. Because I don't know if I forgot to mention that, but there's going to be Romulans on there, right? Because all of the species in the Alpha Quadrant now are like working together after the war, right? Because it's been like 5 years. It's been a good solid 5 years, and the Alpha Quadrant is experiencing a whole lot of new stability after that war, because all of them because everyone is like rebuilding, and everyone is looking to each other for aid in order to rebuild, right? Especially Cardassia is looking to aid. So everybody's trying to rebuild. Cardassia is probably getting a little bit of guff from that. But they were able to be like, look, it was Gul Dukat, all right, the biggest dick on Cardassia ever. So, what you can't blame all of us. I mean, sure, you can blame like most of us, because, they just kind of followed in lockstep, but not all of us. And, I mean, come on. They were just like starting to like eradicate the entire population. So, come on. But yeah, you're going to have Klingons and Romulans on there. I mean, come on. They're going to be at each other's throat all the time. Throw in some Cardassians on there, which, like, please. The Cardassians are going to be dealing with animosity from fucking everybody for years. And the Changeling on there is going to have to deal with a bunch of guff from everybody. That's just, I mean, there was, even though it's like 5 years past, it's like, dude, yeah, you were new to the quadrant, and the first thing you did after being here and like seeing us was, yeah, we gotta conquer those people and, I don't know, maybe exterminate them, because fuck those people. So, but Odo convinced them that, yeah, I think maybe we need to be like, well, fine. We need to just take a different course in life. We've been too harsh. I mean, these Federation types have created a better society with, inclusion and equality, and it seems to work. It's worked for 200 years, so I guess it can be done. So, send an emissary and see how it works out. And like I said, have all those on there. And if I may be so bold, make it a big ship. I was going to say make it a really big ship. My idea for the ship is not like, oh, it's a Voyager. It's a Voyager class, or it's a Galaxy class, but it's an entirely different class. It's a new, it's a unique ship or whatever. And then they show it to the captain. They're like, I've never seen that before. That is very, very big. But yes, the crew complement is, he says, like, I don't know, 5,000 or something like that. And it has a capability of, it's like 5,000, really? Yes. And it's fucking big. You'd be like, well, Voyager was at times heavily outmatched in guns and phasers and stuff. So we want to make sure that you're able to defend yourself and all that stuff. We're going to look like a warship when we get out there. Well, possibly. It's true. But we don't want to. It's true. You're going to look like a warship, but at the same time, we don't want you to die out there, and we don't want you to be the first Starfleet vessel in 5 years to be out there and then to be destroyed by the first people you encountered, and for that to be the message that the entire quadrant there sees as, well, we're just a bunch of weaklings that can be destroyed. That would be a bad message. I want you to be the emissaries of the Federation. That will be a society of explorers, discoverers, researchers, and when the time comes, a society that is able to defend itself against aggression. And this ship will be able to do it. This ship will be able to do it. Like, I hope so. 5,000 people? That seems like a huge crew complement. What is that, 3 times the complement of most Galaxy starships? Yes, it is. Well, we're never going to run out of ensigns on that ship, I don't think. That would be a great show, I think. Great show. And the ship would be, remember the episode of Voyager, the Distant Origin Theory? The city ship from the dinosaurs. Yeah, a ship like that size for Starfleet. Maybe not that big because that ship was fucking big. But you know, a ship that like kind of puts in comparison like Voyager and then like, you know, 5 to 10 times the size of Voyager. Like something that's like maybe 4 times the size of a Galaxy ship. So it's like fucking big. And his outfit to be, you know, a bad motherfucker, you know, as when he needs to do shit, you know, multiple science labs and, you know, lots of cargo bays, tons of extra rooms. I don't know what they call it, but you know, extra rooms for people to come around and shuttles and just fucking everything you could imagine a really huge ship to have. That's what I would want. Damn. Well, the main point would be it's a ship of discovery. Go to the Delta Quadrant, discover, establish contact, make formal diplomatic contact with everyone because they have the information now on diplomatic contact and also reestablish contact with Neelix and the Talaxians that are there and have the equipment to set up a permanent relay station with Neelix. And maybe equip them with defensive capabilities, real defensive capabilities. Maybe have them be the first Delta Quadrant Federation citizens. They would probably love it. Have them be, you know, find a planet that is unclaimed somewhere in the Delta Quadrant and be like, well, this seems to be unclaimed. This seems to be an uninhabited planet in unclaimed territory, and we can relocate you there. And we have, because this ship is so fucking big with so many people, we can transport you there, and we can get you set up. And I mean set up. Like we can move all the shit you have here, set it up, and like give you some more stuff, like get you some more shit, and you'll be more stable. You won't have to worry about like needing to process the the garbage on the asteroid. You'll have a whole planet to live on and you know, expand in and everything. And we can give you like, I don't know, maybe the tools to build a space elevator. I don't know what that is, but whatever. Some technical expertise too. They could probably launch some satellites for them too. Maybe help them build a shuttle or something. Get them started on the ability to construct their own spacecraft so that they can, you know, some smaller spacecraft so that can start getting their own stuff into orbit, because that would be bad if you're just stuck on the planet. You wouldn't want that. You want them to be able to have the ability to make their own ground to whatever. And anyways, there you are. That's my StarCraft show. Trump sucks at everything. And yeah. And Trump is just the figurehead for the current Republican Party. So when he eventually, I'm thinking dies, because it's going to be quick. I really don't think he's going to survive through the end of his term. There's just going to be a new douchebag at the helm of the ship of derp, and I don't know what's going to happen when that takes place, but I mean, I assume that's going to be Vance. If he dies in office, I guess that means Vance. If he's impeached, I guess that means Vance. This is so bad that I can't conceive that we don't have a provision for just being like, man, this guy sucks so bad, we need to just like recall and just have another election because this guy sucks so bad. Because we have recall elections for like everything else, don't we? I mean, there are such a thing as recall elections. So why can't we just have a recall election? Why can't we just be like, all right, Trump sucks now. We need a recall election. We need a recall election. We need a blanket new fucking election for, I don't know, every Republican. Can we just have that? Like right fucking now? Can we just go to every red state and be like, yeah, you guys suck, and we're gonna fucking vote to have you, replaced. So, just put a Democrat on there. I don't really care who. I mean, we can have like a campaign for 1 month just to see, because I'd like to have a good one. So, march your pretty ass out here and see if we got a good one coming up. But I mean, if there's a Republican, but I mean, you guys have had a bad track record for 40 years. And so I'm telling you, your party, if the Republican Party wants to stay alive, they got to do some major renovation. I mean, you got to blow out like 4 walls. You got to completely burn down the bathroom and rebuild it from the ground up. I mean, the kitchen, you got to completely redo that shit. All right. So, just, the Republican Party is fucked. All right. You got some real work to do. Democrats, we just need new people in there. The House is fine. We just need new people. That's all. That's all. Republicans, you're fucked, pretty much. Now, you might as well just go out into the field because you're waiting for the farmer to shoot you. Anyways, kneecap the rich. Trump sucks at everything. And boops.